Alright, so our merge is finally out for sale. Alright, so we are on our way to see the mysterious columns at Crowley Lake, located in Bishop, California. So there are a couple ways to get to the columns. You can take a boat to the column, but really no one's out there in a boat to take you to the columns. Or you can take the trails to the columns. And keep in mind, you definitely need a 4x in order to get to the columns. You're not going to get to the columns in a vehicle or in an SUV, so keep that in mind. A 4x is needed on some of these trails. So this area right here, you definitely need a 4x, and you will not get past this area in a vehicle or an SUV. Luckily we had the Jeep Gladiator that was lifted, and for us it was no problem.
When I went up that side.
Yeah, that's how I was like, this looks a little too choppy over here.
Yeah.
Did you guys air down?
No.
No, yeah.
I used 4 low when I went up.
Okay, cool.
But I took the left side all the way up.
Okay, cool. I'll do this side.
So that area that you just saw where you needed a 4x, before that area is some parking. You can park in that area and you can walk to the columns, but it's a long hike from that parking area to the columns. And plus you're gonna have to walk down a cliffside to the columns. So it's about maybe 45 minutes to an hour hike from the first parking area down to the columns. Luckily with the 4x, we were able to park closer to the column, which is about a 2-mile hike. And that's where you're going to need the 4x if you want to get closer to the columns. Alright, now that we made it to the second parking destination, we're about to walk 2 miles down the cliffside to the columns. So here we go. Alright, so now that we made it down to the columns, after California's Crowley Lake Reservoir was completed in 1941, strange column-like formations were spotted on the water's body's eastern shore. The rising grade and stony cylinders have cracked ringings around them at intervals about 1 foot and have inspired comparisons to the Moorish temples. Very interesting. So there are caves at the columns. Some caves go down deep into the mountain and some are just blocked off. There are some I couldn't get into because they're pretty small, but here we go. So here, what I thought was a cave turned out not to be a cave. But the further I went in, it got really dark, and I was trying to find my loom box to light it up. So the further that I went in, it got really dark, so I tried to use the light from my cell phone, but it wasn't bright enough. Luckily, I had my loom box with me. In here.
So it goes to a dead end.
So luckily I had that loom box with me because it was able to shed enough light so I can see if there's anything beyond where I was at. Okay, so back to the columns. So geologists have been studying the columns for quite some time, using different slews of different methods of equipment, including x-rays, analysis, and electronic microscopes applied to samples of the columns. The researchers have found there are tiny spaces throughout them. So the columns are cemented into place by minerals that are resistant to erosion, and appears to be related to large volcanic explosions that took place about 760,000 years ago. That's a very long time. Scientists say that the blast was more than 2,000 times larger than that of the eruption of Mount St. Helens. That's pretty big. So I came across this cave and I was very interested to see what was in the cave. The further that I got into the cave, something just didn't feel right. So guess what? I turned around and came back out because I was not having it. So if you look to the left of the columns, there are caves. And no, I did not attempt to go into those caves. I was not having it. If you look to the left, you'll see more caves. So right here you'll see the glitch in the drone. That's because the winds were super high and it was pushing the drone out. Once again, thanks for visiting the channel, and please make sure to hit that subscribe button, and we'll see you at the next video.